Hillary Clinton's email scandal isn't going away, though she wishes it would.
You may have seen that I recently launched a Snapchat account. I love it. I love it. Those messages disappear all by themselves.
When jokes like that fall flat, she can always revert to type and blame the right-wing conspiracy and send Benghazi while she's at it.
Let's be clear. 7 exhaustive investigations, including by the Republican-controlled House Armed Services Committee and the Republican-controlled House Intelligence Committee, have already debunked all of the conspiracy theories. It's not about Benghazi. And you know what? It's not about emails or servers either. It's about politics.
But will her attempts to shrug it off work? Bob Woodward says the scandal reminds him of another big story that he helped break.
In a way, reminds me of the Nixon tapes. Thousands of hours of secretly recorded conversations that Nixon thought were exclusively his, that he was not going to get them. Hillary Clinton initially took that position.
All right, Tom, we're going to have to start with you because you do stand up for a living. You know, you're the host of Red Eye. You know how to deliver a joke.
You're a big deal.
Your critique of Hillary Clinton's...
I mean, her joke-telling technique, it has its roots in history. Mm-hmm. It's the town crier technique. It's the hear ye, just yell the joke slowly and loudly.
It's true.
Give us an example.
Yeah, if she was telling, how did the chicken cross the road?
That would have been better. Yeah. Actually.
But that's her joking technique. She uses it a lot. And then she puts the stress on the wrong words. You don't really understand. It's like, is this a joke or not? But then then after the joke, she gets serious. The conspiracy theory. I mean, it's all very weird. And she has a friendly audience. It's not like it's a hostile crowd. They're cheering everything she says.
Not only that, but Jesse, these jokes
Jesse's
are
crying.
I'm still laughing at your impression. No, I mean,
the jokes are written for her. I mean,
it's terrible.
Who's doing it?
Maybe she thinks it's funny because she thinks Obama's going to pardon her. I mean, I have no idea. It's not funny though because it's not funny because the Democrats are drafting like Gore to save her because she's going to implode. This makes Lois Lerner look smooth. Can you imagine? I mean, you know what? We said this the other day. When you look at the Republicans out there debating, none of them are under the investigation by the FBI. I mean, that's pretty good. Chris Christie, could you imagine during Bridgegate if Christie handed over a wiped server to prosecutors? It was like, ha, 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 it's pretty funny. Or Rove, during the Plame deal, was like, oh, here's the wiped server. I mean, it's crazy.
As his
You'll never get away with
during
that.
the time, I can tell you how that would have gone. Kimberly, let me ask you, though, about that, because she is in the middle of federal investigations about a serious issue regarding classified information. They found 305 more possibilities on the server that they've seen so far.
So far, yeah.
And we find out that the private company that was hosting the server might actually have an entirely backed up server.
Right.
So is it now the time to joke?
A duplicate? No.
Like, if you're a federal investigator, do you watch that?
You're laughing all the way to in front of the judge and the jury because you're like, wow, I'm going to use all of this against her. And if she gets convicted on it, this is not going to bode well because it shows that she does not take it seriously. She's thumbing her nose at it. She's above the law. She's trying to say this is, based on a conspiracy. It's pretty appalling. And she wants to be president of the United States. So it's getting just much worse for her. To me, this feels like she's imploding. I think we've just kind of getting the tip of this right now. So far, it's like 5.1% of what they've looked at. They're not done. And if, in fact, they get a hold of that duplicate server where everything's backed up, forget it.
Yeah, because one of the things on that is that she and her staff, Geraldo, say that they went through the emails and they decided what to turn over and what not. But if all of the emails exist, that excuse goes out the window.
Didn't your boss once famously tell a joke about looking for weapons of mass destruction, and then he looked around at the White House Correspondents' Dinner,
and it fell flat.
And it fell flat. But politicians
that was at a fun dinner,
and that was you're right. That
was at a fun dinner. That's a little different than out there on the stump.
Globally broadcast. It was a terrible joke, and it came when GIs were dead. It can't be any more serious than that. Politicians sometimes have bad judgment. They should stick to their profession, which is politics, not not joke telling.
But
in terms of Hillary Clinton and the email servers, I know that everybody gets hyper excited about it, and I was pretty surprised to see Bob Woodward making that expansive comparison to Watergate.
Well, doesn't
I
that
thought it
say
was
something
shocking.
to you?
Well, it doesn't say anything to me unless they come up with something. So far, they've come up with nothing other than the fact that she used a private email server. She's not the first Secretary of State to do that.
No.
Yes, she is.
She's the first one to do it exclusively, not the first one to do it. And they haven't found anything.
They haven't found
yet.
anything because she deleted everything.
But when you send an email, it's not deleted. First of all, it's not even deleted on the machine that you try to delete it from, and it's sent to somebody or someone sent it to her. There's a whole other
You can also
source.
So why is she hiding it if it's all out in the
And
open?
in one of the emails,
Because she doesn't want to be embarrassed.
consciousness of guilt.
Well,
one of the emails has her asking for instruction and being told about a book that teaches you actually how to double delete emails. So that's kind of interesting. The other thing is that this is interesting about the State Department. Despite knowing, so the State Department months ago finds out that this thumb drive exists, okay, with all the emails on it, and that they know that they've seen classified hits on it. So they, instead of the State Department going to get the thumb drive, what do they do instead? They send a safe to the lawyer's office,
a lockbox,
who does not have a top secret clearance, and says, just hold this for us. I mean, no one else in the world would get this kind of white glove treatment from the government.
Geraldo, why your example was bad? It's that
George W. Bush
W. Bush was making fun of a failure that he had admitted to, that it was his failure to find weapons of mass destruction, poking fun of himself. Hillary is saying you people are crazy and you're all, drumming up conspiracies, and I am totally innocent. She was making fun of the people who were accusing her. It was the opposite. She was not making fun of herself.
A distinction without
it is good to have you on this segment.
And also the point of the White House press correspondence dinner, the president's supposed to get up and give kind of funny, interesting, entertaining remarks. That is the purpose and the
I think we had
nature.
at least
Not out
2,000
somebody
dead
trying
by
to get
then
elected.
because of that ill-conceived war. Come on.
I don't think
And there was 4 dead in Benghazi. I know it's not the same, Geraldo, but at least
The 4
Bush
dead
can
in
deliver
Benghazi
a
had
joke.
nothing to do with Hillary, and that's exactly what she was saying.
Nothing to do with Hillary.
Had nothing to do with Hillary. The
What do you
4
mean?
dead
They
in
asked
Benghazi.
for security like 5 times and she
cover.
rejected
Are
it.
you going to bring up the stand-down order, all those
think we
phony
gotta go.
stories
I never
again?
said anything about that. Why was there no
Please.
security on
It's
the
a
anniversary of
fake-
9/11?
Benghazi was fake.
What's
it was a
fake?
fake scandal.
What's fake?
That she had anything to do with not rescuing the people who were being
They
killed.
asked for security 4
scandal.
times.
No, the
never gave
repeated
it to her.
requests for extra security given
If you
the
wanna
real
debate
threats in
Benghazi,
the
you
area.
will
The
lose.
Why'd she blame it on a
Geraldo,
YouTube
is
video?
The scandal was that it was happening, and they were talking about that
Right.
videotape. That was a lie on the day.
Well, that's
They were
a-
saying,
that's an
"What
origin.
terrorism?"
That's
I
an
don't see
origin.
any terrorism.
All right.
Fine.
We can always get back to the Iraq War on this show.